Attention, attention, ladies and gentlemen. If you can hear me, type yes. I can see Kandasamy, Kulendran, John, Randall. How are you guys doing? So please, if you can hear me, or even better, on a scale from 0 to 10, how is my audio? Yes, hello Pinky, hello Manuel, hello Carlos Nunes. Can you guys hear me okay? Excellent, excellent, Fidel. So this is an open Q&A session. This is an event that normally takes from 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Normally I try to stay within these spec limits, 30 minutes to 60 minutes. And the objective here is to ask as many questions as possible. So please go ahead and drop your question here. Yes, happy Valentine's Day for you guys, for you all. And I'll be happy once again to answer as many questions as possible. So go ahead and drop your question related to Lean Six Sigma, regardless if you are a white belt, if you are a yellow belt, if you are a green belt, if you are a black belt, if you are a master black belt. I'll be here and do all my best to help you. By the way, if you are interested in becoming a certified black belt, okay, we do have a wave that is opening up on February 28th, okay? Sessions are live, but I do record all of them. So you can join me live in Zoom, and if you cannot join me live, then you can catch up later in Hotmart, because I do record all sessions, okay? So just keep in mind, if you are interested in becoming a black belt, you have an opportunity to join our next wave starting February 28th, okay? Wonderful. So we have a question from Vindra. From Vindra, one of the most engaged students ever. I want to publicly recognize Vindra Kanai. I hope the pronunciation is correct. Such an engaged student, Vindra. So your enthusiasm is contagious, and I really hope that you can keep spreading, your passion for operational excellence to any person that you are in contact, okay? So let's go for the first question. How to convince management leadership in a company that running a small Lean Six Sigma project can be used to reduce waste and efficiency in a small section. Okay, Vindra. So you must have the support at least from one senior leader, and even knowing that the scope is manageable, as you are calling here a small Lean Six Sigma project, so the scope is very much manageable, the impact must be relevant. So you must touch, for example, let me give you a real example from Nielsen, the market research company that I had a chance to work for. There was an index, there was, I would say, a KPI. It's a CTQ named Net Sample Compliance. Net Sample Compliance. I was new to the company. In order to get a small Lean Six Sigma project, a very manageable scope, a project with a manageable scope, I decided to take just one index versus take the entire country. I took just one index. Just one index. So you can reduce the scope of your project in a way that it becomes very manageable. But this index must be relevant. I'll never forget ME33. That was the name of the index, ME33. ME33. So it was manageable, the project was successful, but from the beginning, it was something relevant. It was something relevant. And again, relevance normally is connected to short-term or long-term financial impact. Okay? But you must have, Vindra, a good contact, at least with one senior leader. Like coffee, have lunch, you must have a good connection with at least one senior leader. That's your champion. It must be in terms of hierarchy above the process owner. Because if you have the buy-in, the support from at least one senior leader related to this process that you want to investigate and to improve, the chances of you removing the roadblocks, the chances increase quite a lot. Okay? Doesn't know anything about Lean Six Sigma. Management doesn't know anything about Lean Six Sigma. Thinks the department is already as efficient as can be. Doesn't want to allocate time and resources to a Lean Six Sigma project. Okay, so if the leaders, they don't know anything about Lean Six Sigma, please do not use any Lean Six Sigma terminology. Don't talk about, now we need to apply pyramid structure. Now we need to calculate CPK. Take a look on the CPK, PPK, Sigma level. Don't use any terminology about Lean Six Sigma. As few as possible. One, here and there, it's okay. But, avoid as much as possible using Lean Six Sigma terminology. And if there is no Lean Six Sigma department in the company, maybe you don't want to say that you are running a Lean Six Sigma project, because it can sound, fancy, and it can sound like sometimes even arrogant. They can misunderstand that we are being arrogant, that we know more than them, because it's about not invented here, this syndrome. Not invented here. Anything that is out of my zone of knowledge, all of us, we tend to block, we tend to reject, consciously or unconsciously. Consciously or unconsciously. Yeah. So for the first item, please don't talk about the terminologies, the technical terminologies. Think the department is already as efficient as can be. Yeah. In this case, there's only one, but a good alternative is negotiate to map a process. So get the approval to at least map a process or processes and quantify. The golden recommendation here, Vindra, is quantify. Please, quantify problems. One of the most common mistakes in corporate when we talk about continuous improvement is people normally reach out to process owners or to sponsors, to champions, recommending solutions, recommending actions. Marcelo, I believe you should go ahead and change the mic from this position to this position, When you come to a process owner, proposing an action, you maximize the not invented here syndrome. You will increase the chances of simply be rejected. Rejected. It's the make, remember, the make. First of all, we are talking about what? Quality, lead time, safety. Okay, quality, measure. So let's be very specific. Obviously, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, so now I have the size of the problem. I can argue with a control chart and a pyramid structure. Lead time is on average at 15 minutes, and it varies from 12 minutes to 18 minutes, for example. And the consequences of operating like this, the consequences are boom, 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 boom. But then, Vindra, if you feel that your process owner is very much resistant, the golden recommendation is have this conversation one-to-one first. So after you quantify your problem, if you found a problem that process owner does not know, do not expose this to other people. You'll be scheduling a meeting, if possible in person, eyes to eyes. You will first of all be thankful for the process owner because he or she allowed you to map the processes. Second, you'll be highlighting the positive aspects of her or his processes, with true facts, okay? Oh, I found this very interesting, you guys are doing this very well, oh, this is very amazing. And as I've mentioned, it's kind of normal when we map a process, it's continuous improvement, so there is always some room for improvement. And by the way, I found this, and then you show data, facts. And obviously you picture the benefits for the department or for the leader when this problem is resolved. And all the time try to communicate, Vindra, as you are there to serve him or her. So try to communicate like, I am happy to help. I know that this is a complex process. I am not an expert. You can say that. I am not an expert, so it's a great opportunity for me to learn. I want to learn from you, from your team. And I do believe that with the method that I've learned, this process can be improved. But all the time, position yourself as someone that it's there to make them shine more. Not someone that it is there to find out stinky fish, to find out problems, to find out and to expose, and then you'll be the hero, and then they will be ashamed, On that project that I presented in our white belt training, I don't know if you guys remember, the one that I had a chance to lead in the United States, so imagine a Brazilian leading a project in the United States, different culture, different language. As you guys can see, English is not my first language. So many difficulties, yes. And the key, or at least one of the of the key elements that made this project, a successful project recognized by the American Society for Quality, was a connection, an alliance that I built with Melissa. Melissa was the process owner, you know. Yeah, an alliance, honest, ethical, where she felt, that I was a trustworthy person, you know. So she decided to trust me, and I made her shine very beautifully in the picture, you know. And she deserved that. She deserved that. Yeah, she deserved. So I worked to guarantee that our findings on that project, they were not being they were not being presented as something like, see, I had to fly all the way from Brazil to find that this process is a mess. You don't have this, you don't want to promote this kind of feeling at all. This is, by the way, this is disrespectful. This is arrogant. Yeah? And this is not sustainable. So this is, and from the few interactions, Vindra, that I had a chance to have with you, I can feel that you are the kind of person that don't play the hero. This is good. I can feel that you are a hungry and at the same time humble person. I can feel that. Okay? So it's pretty much to apply that. Doesn't want to allocate time and resources to a Lean Six Sigma project. Yeah, that's an interesting point, because if the process owner doesn't want to allocate time and resources to a Lean Six Sigma project, you need to evaluate the level of resistance, Vindra, the level of resistance, because unfortunately, Vindra, unfortunately, sometimes the only alternative is to escalate. But this is the last alternative, and it is the worst. It is the worst alternative. And that's why you need to have the support from a champion. From a champion. Because then, yeah, because if the champion champion is the manager of the process owner. If the champion does not want you to run a project, you go to another department. Then if you've used all your arguments, all your techniques, all your you have used all your tools in your toolbox, and the champion does not want that, there is no miracle. There is no miracle. Go to another sector, go to another sector. And to be very honest, many times go to another plant, and many times go to another company. I had a chance to directly and indirectly deep dive, I would say deep dive, and I say indirectly because of projects that I was mentoring. Yeah, not really. For example, the Chinese mining company that I had a chance to manage the entire OPEX program 1.5 years ago. So in total, I would say it's more than 100 companies. So I had a chance to know in details the gamba of more than 100 companies. Service, manufacturing, public, pharmaceutical, automotive, mining, banks, electronics, small companies, huge multinational companies, I cannot say all sorts of companies, but many types of companies. They are different. Vindra and everybody. When people say no, it's all the same. It's all the same. No, no, they are not. The companies are different in terms of operational excellence culture. Yes, yes, there are you will find leaders that will beg you, Vindra, will beg you, will say, please, Vindra, help me. Do anything you wanna do. Use my resource. Run as many projects as you want. You will find that there are leaders like that. You will find leaders like that. And for sure, you will. I found in my career. I found in my career a leader that said, there are 15 years that we don't have waste in our processes. Whoa, whoa! 15 years that we don't have waste. Wow, zero waste. Wow, wow, wow. Then again, you can apply your techniques. At the end of the day, it's really pyramid structure. It's pyramid structure. It's introduction and negative consequences, But this is very important. This is very important. Like, building alliances outside the the corporate boundaries. So any chance you have to have a coffee, an open conversation, maybe you were lucky enough to find a topic that is common, it's a common interest from you two, like sports, sports. Yesterday I had a meeting with the Minitab global team, and the first 20 minutes we were talking about soccer. The first 20 minutes, yeah, my mentor at Minitab is Scott Kowalski, the guy that wrote the Minitab manual. He's outstanding. He knows everything about Minitab, and I feel honored for having Scott as my mentor since 2019. And then there is something that they call Minitab Insights. It's a big conference in the United States, and I'll be presenting there. I'll be presenting in May. A introduction to design for Six Sigma in Scottsdale, Arizona. And then we were talking about this presentation and everything, the technical details. But like the first 20 minutes, we were talking about a non-technical topic, and this is powerful. This is very powerful, very powerful. Because when I find in Vindra a connection in terms of arts in general, a certain type of music that he likes and I like, a certain type of art in general, Michelangelo. Let's suppose you like the work, the type of work that you can find in Florence, let's suppose you like Baroque music. Let's suppose you like Flamengo, you like Real Madrid, you like, I don't know, sports in general. Or let's suppose you like poetry, Let's suppose you like cinema, yeah? So if you have an opportunity, to have this kind of, the turning point, I don't know if I told you guys, the very first interaction I had with the Nielsen president in Brazil was terrible. And it was my mistake. My mistake. My mistake. My mistake. So I burnt this bridge. Yeah, with the... I burned an important bridge with the president of the company that I have just started working for. just a bridge, and it was not easy to reconstruct this bridge, and the turning point was Barcelona Football Club. A friend of mine that was a friend of him told me, Marcelo, talk with Eduardo about Barcelona, and it helped me. It helped me to you know, to get a little bit closer, a little bit closer. So it's something you guys can, at least try, but there is no guarantee that champions and process owners will give their buy-ins to your projects. But remember, companies are different, leaders are different. Remember that. Okay? Doesn't want the processes in their flow interfered with. So see, and want improvement. So it's a very difficult combination, my friend Vinder. Because see, I want the process owner wants an improvement and doesn't want the process to be interfered. Yeah, I don't know what does he or she mean by interfered. If he or she means like mapped out, then we cannot do. Then I mean, then we should, you know, yeah, find another area, another leader. Because again, Vindra and everybody, you will find leaders that will beg you for, hey, please, please, please come here and help us out. You know, let me know if that was helpful, Vindra. Uh, Another question. In green belt exam, do we have mini tab? No, Kandasamy. There is no mini tab in yellow belt, nor in green belt, nor in black belt. Why? Because mini tab is a tool, is a vehicle, yeah, and the test is about concepts, principles, tools, and techniques. So you can use any other any other um, any other softwares, okay, any other softwares. I do teach Minitab because Minitab is the most used, the most famous, Lean Six Sigma statistical software, you know. Thank you, Trixie. Thank you so much. Thank you, Arlene. Luis Rodriguez. My pleasure, Vindra. And everybody, please feel free to drop your questions, technical questions or non-technical questions, regardless if you are very new to Lean Six Sigma or if you are a white belt, a yellow belt, a green belt, a black belt, a master black belt. Please drop your question and I'll do all my best to help you, okay? Luis Rodriguez, my company doesn't know Six Sigma, but can I structure the business plan, identifying the problem, and following the DMake structure without them knowing it? Yes, absolutely, Luis. Absolutely. And by the way, the recommendation is run your first project, Luis, without using any terminology. Zero terminology. So when you have the results, you present the results and then you talk about the vehicle. Then you talk about the method. Okay? Because when you present the results, people will get interested. They will get curious to know how did you reach these kind of results, Tudo bom, Daniel? So yes, you can, Luis, you can, and my recommendation is please do not use technical terminologies. Hi, Sir Marcelo. What are the most important skills to develop in human relations for us to have a deeper impact on people who serve? Whoa, whoa, Pinky. That's a good one. I mean, all questions are good. All questions are good. But this is definitely a very interesting one, okay? So I will not be using any literature. I cannot relate this to any author, to any scientific work, okay, Pinky? So just to make it clear that I'll express here my opinion, okay, my opinion about the most important skills to develop in human relations. So the very first one, Pinky, we must be amazing listeners. Amazing listeners. So when I read your question, when I hear you, I do all my best to guarantee that at this moment, February 14th, 2023, at 9:32 a.m. Brazil time, Pinky Team is the most important person in the world for me. At this point, you, Pinky, is the most important person in the planet for me. And I'll listen you actively and also empathetically. So I want to guarantee that I understand what you are trying to say, and also I want to feel what is coming from your question, that it is not in your words. We call this unspoken voice of the customer. There is always an unspoken voice of the customer. There is always an unspoken voice of the customer. I was just checking if the right word in English is that. Empathetic. Mode, in terms of listening. Because when you are operating in the region of being, really focusing on understanding what is the true need, like the hidden need, you double, you triple the chances of satisfying the person. So let me give you a simple and real example. When I was working for Delphi, I was talking to a guy named Luis Flavio Rodrigues, and he was desperate. For implementing points of control, gate reviews during the project development journey, okay, in the engineering department. So he was just asking me, Marcelo, I need your help to implement gate reviews. I need your help to implement gate reviews. But you see, like, the movement of the arms, you can feel the energy, that he was desperate. So first of all, listen, okay, gate reviews, but also try to understand why is this person requesting so many gate reviews during the process of product launch. Why? Because there were many quality problems. So he was the quality manager for the engineering department. So all problems related to product launch for a wiring harness. So when there is a new car model in Brazil, so there is a new wiring harness. Sometimes you adapt from an old model, but normally you have a new wiring harness, and then you have to plan it's not the product launch, it's the production launch. Yeah, so you need to pretty much design your production flow, yeah, and guarantee that it is balanced, yeah, so you can deliver in the right lead time and also with the right quality, yeah. And so based on his voice, he was requesting, so much, please, this, he was requesting that please implement gate reviews, that there was a hidden voice, there was an unspoken voice claiming, for help to solve quality problems, quality issues. So my first recommendation, my first recommended skill to develop is be an active listener, and also an empathetic listener. Okay, we need to fully listen to the people. And this is interesting because the cycles nowadays, they are shorter, right? Things are much faster in general in comparison to 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Things in general are much faster nowadays. And it's curious because apparently we are lacking time to listen to people, right? Apparently we don't have patience, to listen to people. Very interesting. If things are faster, if the cycles are shorter, we should have more time for people, I try at least once a week to have dinner with my mom. My mom is here in my city, so when I am not traveling, when I am here in Itajubá, I try to have dinner at least once a week with my mother, with my mother. And my mother, she's a musician. She's a pianist. And I can say that she had a pretty challenging life. I can say that my mother did a lot in her life. Her legacy is really amazing. But she had many problems in her childhood, with my grandpa, with my grandma, and she got divorced twice, from my father and from another person that she got married, and here and there a few health issues. So I think it's understandable that nowadays my mother tends to complain a little bit more about life. Sometimes with a good rationale behind, sometimes with logical argumentation, and many times completely lacking any logical argument, completely lacking any logical argument. And as you guys know, I work with logical things. We are logical people, right? We are logical people. But remember, when I am having a dinner with my mom, at that point, she is the most important person in the world. And when she's complaining about things that are completely irrational, it's lacking logic, I never counter argue my mother. Never, 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 never. Because it's not a PhD review process. It's not a paper review. It's not a Lean Six Sigma project review. It's about being empathic. I am not checking what she's saying. I am just absorbing what she's feeling. And many times, she complains, and then after that, you can see that she's feeling so much better. So much better. So maybe she didn't want anyone to check consistency. She just wanted to talk. Just to talk. And I'll say something. In corporate, you will find this very same phenomena too. You'll find people where you cannot simply go ahead and check consistency. Wait. It doesn't make sense for me. Sometimes just by saying this quote, it doesn't make sense for me, you've burned 10 bridges. Sometimes you think that you are being the smartest person in the world because you just found an inconsistency, and then you say it doesn't make sense. Can you explain this to me a little? No. We are talking about people. It's not, I am not in front of Minitab. I am not having a dinner with Minitab. I am having a dinner with a person that maybe has a health issue, that maybe has some sort of depression, or maybe, has a major, drug problem, or maybe is addicted to something. You don't know. So please listen to the people in a way that it is more than check consistency. It's more than checking if that makes sense or not. Listen to the people, trying to understand what is behind that voice, And I'll tell you something. It will make you a better professional and also a better human being. Yeah, because I always say I want all my students to be very well paid. Amen? Very well paid. But I hope you are not part of a very common classification. It's a quadrant of people that are millionaire and sad. I don't want you to be a millionaire and sad and empty. Yeah, I want you to be a multimillionaire and full of joy. True joy. Yeah? And then you must know how to connect to people. And so my first recommendation is be an active listener, and on top of that, develop this empathetic, listening procedure. This is two important recommendations. In fact, it's one important recommendation. Be a true listener. Okay, Pinky? Luis Rodriguez, I am having a difficult time with a process owner to open up for me to better understand the chronic problem. Even though the CEO supports me, but there is a climbed up senior management. Yeah, Luis. So it's the same recommendation that I gave to Vindra. Try to articulate with data, facts, and show that you will not be playing the hero. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's funny. Saturday, I was teaching a class to my master black belts, students, and we were talking about intervention techniques. Yeah, in um, the master black belt body of knowledge from ASQ, there is a it's a session part of a chapter that is about intervention techniques. And one of the intervention techniques, Luis, is to escalate, to talk to the CEO. If the CEO is supporting you after you try, all your techniques, if it doesn't work, unfortunately, you need to reach out to the CEO and ask for support, like a roadblock removal. Yeah. Wonderful, Vindra. I'm glad to know you like it. Hi, Professor Marcelo. At one point, you talked about a Y career. Please explain again. Yeah, so Samson, the idea of Y career is in the past, like 20 years ago, if you wanted to be well paid, to get a promotion in your career, the only way was you need to become a manager, then a senior manager, then a VP, then a senior vice president, then C level, and blah blah blah. So you had to for example, have a team of many people. You can only be a manager, yeah. But from 10 years on, people are talking more and more about the Y career. So what's the Y career? You are developing in your career, then you have two different paths. One that is you are a leader, you have employees, and another one is you are a super expert. You are a super expert. So for example, at Nielsen, my band was a VP band, vice president, but I had no employees, zero employees. I had the benefits of a VP. I had the bonus of a VP, a salary of VP, but without a team. So it's because of my expertise. So as a black belt and as a master black belt, you can easily go through this path of becoming a highly valuable professional, expert. Okay, that's the idea. Let me know if that makes sense. Samson. No problem, John. No problem. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry about that, John. I hope yeah, I really wish, I really hope that he gets better um, soon. A speedy recovery, okay? Yeah, I love. See what Marlisa said. Empathy is putting yourself to the shoes of the others. Yeah, and it's an exercise. It's an exercise. Yeah. Um, it's Yoliza Nadima here, using my son's computer. No problem. I have realized that when you have an assignment and you don't have visible support of the executive, you are bound to fail in your assignment. Yeah, support from leadership is ultra important, mainly on Lean Six Sigma. Yeah. Wonderful, Betty. I am happy to know you liked it. Okay. You are so humble, human professor. I'm glad. Thank you, Sumitra. Thank you, Sumitra. I appreciate your words. I appreciate your words. Deep session, right, Vindra? Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. I think it's Valentine's Day, I think we need to close out this session today with music. Am I right or not? Am I right or not? You guys tell me. We should close out this session with music or not? Okay. Let's see who knows the name of this song. Happy Valentine's Day. Bye bye. Bye bye. See you guys.